What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Bumps and Ropes podcast. Today I got a special guest with me. His name is Isaiah. I'll let him tell you guys a little bit about himself and introduce yourself.
I'm Isaiah. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I also film a show called The Raised Juke Joint. If you guys are running, we cover bears, stuff like that. But I'm a buddy of him, and I just thought, why not? It's WrestleMania. It's one of the biggest pay-per-views. It's our Super Bowl, so
Hell yeah.
man, chop it up.
So I'll have his link down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. You said you do Chicago Bears content?
I go Bears content,
Yeah.
Bears football, Bears free agency moves, pretty much everything Bears related.
Bro, I know we're gonna talk wrestling, but just to go on the side a little bit, talking about the Chicago Bears, man, they stacked up receivers, Keenan Allen, y'all got DJ Moore, y'all made so many moves, all to set up Caleb Williams. How you feel about that, man?
Man,
Were you behind the Fields army, like keep Fields, or where were you on
I
that?
was behind on keeping Fields, but then I realized, okay, I tried to go into it with the simple mindset of, looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, I like Justin, but let's look at it from the other way. And then I felt like there were too many positives to not take Caleb Williams at that point. And then me being, a former football player myself, watching the tape on Justin, realizing that the Bears didn't do enough for him and they didn't develop him to the level that he needed to be in order to keep his job. So
I agree.
uh that's kind of when I kind of flipped my stance on the Caleb Williams side.
I agree, bro. And I feel like, man, I get like you get emotionally attached to this player, Justin Fields, and man, I wanted him to succeed so much too, but I feel like the Bears really failed him. But hey, Caleb Williams might be that guy for y'all, man. And it's excited times, honestly, for the Chicago Bears.
Absolutely, bro. I couldn't be more excited for him.
Of course. So let's get into WrestleMania, man. There's so much going on. 2 nights worth of stuff to cover here. Where do you want to start, man? What's the match you're looking forward to the most?
Besides the two main events, I truly do think that Gunther and Sami Zayn is gonna put on a heck of a match. I
Yeah.
think that might be one of the best matches in this whole pay-per-view. So uh I don't know. I don't really know where it's swaying, but if I had to guess who I think is gonna win, I think Gunther will remain with the title.
Yeah. I low-key wanted Chad Gable to be the one to face Gunther, but I could see a little storyline that they're doing because obviously Gable is training Sammy, right? So
Hmm.
maybe I agree. I think Gunther is gonna win too. Because is this night one or night two?
This should be
I got
I'm
the
a,
list in front of me. I'm
night,
trying to see right
night
now.
one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's night one. So I agree, bro. I think Gunther's gonna retain.
Mhm.
Um, man, I don't know if he's gonna beat down Sammy to the point where Gable's gonna. I'm curious. Do you think Chad Gable's gonna be in his corner like a manager kind of in this?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't rule it out that he might be in his corner, but I also think that, that Gunther, I think that they're gonna put on a heck of a match to a point where you might not need a Chad Gable in it, possibly interfering or
Yeah,
possibly,
yeah. He won't
by
interfere, but
by
yeah,
Sammy's side. So I just think it's gonna be a good match. I don't think that there's enough build up to the story to take the belt off of Gunther.
I
I
agree.
think they're going to keep him with the belt because of the situation that happened with Cody and Roman, and then with CM Punk being out, all of that type of stuff. So I
Man,
think that he's going to keep that belt.
you just brought up CM Punk being out, bro, and I was so excited when he came back, bro. I was at the Survivor Series with Jalen, right?
Yeah.
I was with him, and man, we were going
Wow.
crazy, and it was so exciting. And then for him to get hurt at the Royal Rumble, I was like, damn, bro, what are they gonna do now? But just kind of segue into this Drew McIntyre feud, man. I'm loving what Drew's been doing on this run. Like as a D1 hater, he's just a straight hater, bro. What do you think about this match with Drew and Seth? A lot of people
Yeah.
like I think most of the agenda is Drew's gonna win.
Yeah, I think Drew McIntyre is definitely going to win. I think that um due to the match of him, Seth versus Cody, and then you got The Rock and Reigns there, I think that match is gonna be the reason he lose the
Yeah,
next day because that like I just don't see. Seth Rollins losing in that match against The Rock, because they're obviously gonna lose. But
Yeah,
that's a whole
yeah.
nother conversation. I
We'll get
can't
to
see
that.
them losing that match and then coming back already wrestling that day, the next day, and beating Drew McIntyre after he's
Yeah.
put so much work in. I just can't see that happening. I do think Drew McIntyre is hot right now, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
what way for the WWE to capitalize on that, since the last time he had a title was COVID year. So
Yeah. Man, this could be the time he finally gets his moment because during COVID, obviously nobody was there. But
yep.
also CM Punk will be on commentary. So, do you think this is just a stretch? Maybe. Do you think CM Punk will be a factor? Like he might distract Seth or something and cost him, and then Drew wins, or he's just gonna be on the side?
It's funny because there's so many ways this could play out. I do think he could be a factor. I'm not completely ruling out that, but I'm just gonna put it as if he is a factor, a big factor, I do think Seth Rollins will keep the belt because
Ooh,
it's something that
yeah.
it's a build up between, Drew
Punk.
and Punk. And I just
Yeah,
think
there is, bro. I never
they
thought of that.
might
Yeah.
try to push that match, the Seth versus Punk, the SummerSlam, but I just think, man, for all intents and purposes, I just think if he does interfere, it will be to screw out Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
And he don't like any of them. Man, like
Anyway,
that. Did you see that promo with Punk? It was in Chicago. I was there too, man. Punk, Drew,
uh,
and Seth. They
yeah,
got real hate for each other, man.
historical, man. Or you could be talking yourself in a situation where Seth does retain the belt, but then you get a triple threat match.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Possibly SummerSlam or something like that. I don't know. I think a lot of this stuff is probably tied into, things that they're gonna do for SummerSlam. That's the next big pay-per-view. But I think either two things are gonna happen. I think either Drew is gonna win the title, or I think either Punk is gonna interfere and Drew's gonna lose his title opportunity.
Yeah.
Those two, I think, if I'm a better man, one of those things are gonna happen.
So I think like we were both saying too, we expect Drew to win. And I think
Yeah.
most likely that is what's gonna happen. But
Mhm.
do you think that Damian Priest is gonna cash in? Like I've been so frustrated, bro.
Absolutely. And it's funny, bro, because you forget about a guy like Drew McIntyre, about a guy like Damian Priest, because
Oh yeah.
you seen everything that happened, with Seth and then Roman, and then nobody thinking that, Seth had the money in the bank. It's kind of it has ties from that, and then you got, reminiscent of that, and right now in 2024. But I'm not ruling that out either. I think a whole lot could happen. I think, honestly, I'll say this. I think this match is probably the most unpredictable. Although we do know that not Cody, but Drew,
Most
like,
likely, yeah.
most likely you're gonna win. But I think it's really unpredictable. Like, man, it's a toss up. It's almost a gamble at this point. Like, you got too many factors.
Man. Like we could, I don't know, man. Like it could be a failed cash in too, because a lot of people are like, man, Priest isn't no world title material. Like
Yeah,
he's gonna be boring, blah blah blah. And I don't know. Like at this point, I just want to see an attempt, bro. I don't care if he wins it or loses it. I just need to see him cash it in because like it's gotten real stale with him holding it.
absolutely. I feel like, man, if he do not cash in, I've always come from the mindset of, if that Finn Balor is gonna screw him out of that cash in. That's how I
At one
feel.
point in time, yeah, I thought so too. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's still in play. I definitely do feel like the Judgment Day, if it's anybody that's going to be broken up, it's going to be Damian Priest, because he's put in so much work. It's probably one of the ones that is ready the most out of all the new people they add, with Dominic and forgot the other game guy name that came from
JD
NXT.
McDonough, right?
McDonough, yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it's a no brainer.
Honestly, I feel like they're gonna split too, and they might have teased this a little bit. And this is just one of my theories. Because you have the six team ladder match.
Yep.
So obviously, my thinking is they're gonna split the tag team titles. One team from Raw is gonna win it, one team from SmackDown. And this is just me thinking out loud. Becky Lynch beating Rhea is not out of the equation. Like that could easily happen too. As long I love Rhea Ripley too, and I'd love to
Mhm.
see her win, but bro, she could easily lose. I mean, she's held it for a year, right? So the Judgment Day takes
Yeah.
straight L's, bro. L L L L. You have Dom in a match too against Ray with the tag team. He could lose that. And come next Monday Night Raw, bro, they might just implode. It might be pointing fingers,
Mm,
all that, and then it's over.
I I think since you brought up Rhea, I don't think I think that the WWE has been trying to find that opponent for her to challenge her and push her. I don't think they've been successful at it on a
You're
few
talking
attempts.
about to challenge Rhea, right?
Yeah, to
Yeah,
challenge Rhea, they've given her so many opponents, and you really haven't had anybody in the ring that can hang with her on that Raw side. I
yeah.
do think that I think that she's gonna retain that title. I don't think that they're gonna go the whole Becky Lynch route, but it's a good possibility to throw out there that she probably wouldn't hold the title.
Hmm.
But man, I I think out of all the predictions, I think I might be that prediction. I might be the most confident in that she might have her title.
Okay, yeah. So just talking about Rhea Ripley for a second, you were just mentioning like not having that A-list kind of challenge, bro. At some point in time, I would love to see her versus Jade Cargill. I think that's a money match, bro. Or even Bianca Belair. Like we haven't seen that either,
Yeah,
right? I don't think she's faced Rhea,
he hasn't
if
faced
I'm not
Bianca.
mistaken.
I think the money. I think in theory that could be saved for 41 because
True.
they're gonna Triple H just came out and said that they're gonna have brand split and stuff like that, and they're gonna be doing drafts back again. So
That's a
I would,
good way. Yeah, that's a good way to change it up.
yeah, I think that's the route they should go. I think that should be a match. But I feel like that Bianca Belair and Jay Cargill is hard to pass up on in the near future when you
Oh,
keep,
them two
you know,
together too. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
like
yeah.
at some fans are gonna want that.
Oh yeah, I agree, bro. Everybody, that's a money match as well. Let me just
Yeah,
look at the card real quick. What else we got? So we had this feud going on with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, and they're facing Karrion Kross. I know this is probably gonna get super underlooked. No, personally, I didn't care for it too much. I feel like they just threw it on the card just to have an extra match because it's been back and forth on SmackDown. Obviously, we do. I think we both agree that Bobby and the Street Profits are probably gonna win, but
yeah, I think
at
they're gonna
some
win.
point, when do you think they're gonna start pushing like the Street Profits and maybe I feel like Montez Ford has so much potential, bro, as a single
Hmm.
star.
Um, I've always had the theory of Montez Ford branching off into his own self about 2 years ago, but I think definitely you should expect titles coming for those guys. I don't know. I can't say
They
the
should have
same.
been in the ladder match, bro. They should
Yeah,
have at least got the
I
SmackDown
have no
titles.
clue whether or not in that match, but
Yeah,
to be honest with this match, I don't feel like this match should have been in the card. I feel like that ladder match could have used the Street Profits and what
easily,
they are.
bro. Oh my God, it would have been so much better.
Yeah, I'm this match. I'm going with obviously I'm going with Bobby and the Street Profits, but I'm not this match. I'm not that really high on. I wanted if you were going to make it a little bit more interesting, probably add a stipulation to it for how extreme it has been with this, rivalry with those three guys. Considering the fact they put each other through, hit
I
each
think
other.
it is. It might be a no, like a Extreme Rules kind of thing, if
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
mistaken, like a street fight.
um, the most definitely. I got the Street Profits. I would love to see a Montez Ford push, but I feel like with so many guys in a running for the U.S. title and a heavyweight title, I don't think it's gonna come as fast as we wanted to. Um, yeah, I just think it's too many guys in the picture with both of those belts.
I agree, bro. Yeah, at some point it will come in due time because he's put in the
Absolutely.
work, bro. He's definitely put in the work. Moving on, you just brought up the US title, so let's touch on that, bro. Initially, I really wanted to see LA Knight versus Logan Paul. I thought they
Yeah,
were gonna do that, but they took a different route and we're getting a triple threat. Where do you see this going? Because I feel like Logan Paul is probably gonna end up retaining.
I got Logan Paul. I think they're gonna try to save him for SummerSlam in
Yeah,
Cleveland.
that's his
I
home backyard, ain't it?
yeah. I know a lot of people is tired of Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But he's really, man, you talk about somebody to come in a ring and make a quick transition like he
Oh, he's good.
has.
Yeah, yeah.
Really entertaining. I think in a triple threat match, he's only going to enhance that match. That match is only going to be good because of him. And then you got a technician in there like Randy Orton, who has been around the game for a long time. Same as well with Kevin Owens. But I just think, man, those guys, they're going to
They're
have
gonna
a
put
pretty,
on a show.
going
Yeah.
to be underrated. An underrated match, definitely for sure.
If they're given the time, because you know, a lot of times with Mania, you have all these time slots and it could be rushed. If they're given the proper time, I think it would be solid.
I think with the way they've orchestrated the 2 day WrestleMania, I think those guys, I can't see a world where they are not given the time that they should be given,
That's
considering
true. Yeah.
the night one, they go from typically 11 o'clock, and then you looking at the same thing
The
almost at
next night.
two,
Yeah.
almost at 12 or 11:30. But I just think those guys, man, they're gonna be given their time that they deserve.
Yeah. Let's segue a little bit and let's have a little bit of a personal talk, man, because I could tell you're a passionate fan. When did you get into wrestling? Like, what was your first WrestleMania that you watched? You know, favorite moments growing up?
To be honest, man, I first started getting into wrestling. Well, my uncle was always a big wrestling fan. Wrestling has been pretty much in my blood, pretty much. Got
Amateur
uncle,
wrestling, bro, because I know you did wrestling at
amateur,
high school,
amateur, still do it right now
and
too.
you still
Amateur.
are. Yeah, and you still
My
are.
uncle wrestled. Really, really talented wrestler. Wrestling coach. I actually, and I had another uncle who used to go back and all those the 90s, the 80s, going back, watching all of that wrestling and stuff like that. My mom was building to it as well because of my uncle. Um my brother was too. Actually, he loves Randy Orton, but um it's been an on and on thing with just wrestling. It's been a family thing. It's
That's
been
cool.
something that
So you
that
guys
I
watch Mania together and whatnot?
absolutely.
That's
My
cool. Yeah,
first
yeah.
mania was, I'll say this, my first mania I sat down and watched was probably, I would say, 22.
Damn.
Uh
Okay. Yeah, yeah. That was way before me, bro.
It
I was
was
a
the
late
John
bloomer.
Cena and Shawn. I think it was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. I don't know for sure if anybody can correct me, but it
I
was
know. I
just,
think that one was in Chicago too, in the Allstate Arena. I could be
yeah,
wrong.
it was John Cena and Triple H. I just, man, I grew up a huge fan of John Cena. I love what he
Same,
stands
bro.
for.
Yeah,
Um, just it's just like, man, watching. I feel like watching him is part of the person I am, part of how I try to orchestrate myself today, going out there wrestling, and just the personal
that
life
mindset,
perspective,
right? Like the never give up mindset.
Yeah, so huge John Cena fan, man. I'm talking about huge Cena fan back then. But that's kind of my upbringing in wrestling. Uh, Still to this day, at the age of 21, I'm still involved in it. Although I try to dip off every time in there when when it's not as good as it is right now with The Rock and everybody. But man, it's been at an all time high. So figured, why not, man? Why not tune back into this stuff and get back into the nitty gritty of this?
Yeah, my bad. I was just plugging in my laptop before it like dies on me. But man, I
Yeah.
agree with you, bro. Like for me, I started watching around I was a late bloomer, bro. So my first one that I watched live was maybe 28 with Cena versus The Rock. But
Wow.
I got into it through like the video games, bro, like SmackDown versus Raw. I started playing those first. And then I was like, damn,
Mhm.
I didn't know this was actually a thing on TV and whatnot. And then I started watching and I
Yeah.
was like, man, I was hooked. But then I don't know about you, but I had a phase, bro. And I know you brought up like you kind of got away from it maybe. When I found out it was scripted and
Hmm.
everything, I couldn't look at it like the same anymore. I was like, no way, bro. And it took me a while to really come back. I mean, I started getting understanding about like the business and how it actually works, you know, like once I started learning that and like, yo, they're actually doing the moves still. They're jumping off ladders, doing this and that.
Right.
Like I have a higher respect for them now. And then I got into it like watching weekly again, maybe the build up towards last year's Mania, like around Royal
Yeah.
Rumble, when Sami betrayed Roman. Like that whole Bloodline
Yeah.
storyline got
Oh,
me hooked too, bro.
I think, and it's the funny thing you brought up that I do think because Cena wasn't there, I do think the Bloodline story has wheeled me back in because we haven't seen a storyline this, this monumental and this intense
And
since
so many layers, bro. There's so many layers.
like like this to me, I can't even say if I can remember, this is kind of like this whole storyline feels like we're going back into the 90s, the late
Oh my
90s,
God,
and
yes. Yeah.
it's like chaotic. And it's just like when you think about the whole Roman Reigns story, every story he has participated in, you can pick a decent amount of those storylines and say this is very attitude era ish.
Yeah.
Um, so I think Roman brings a different feel back to it. He brings a lot of fans who love the Attitude Era back in tune with WWE and WrestleMania, all the pay per views. But he makes you feel he does a good job. This character he is now he makes you he finds a way to bring you in, and it's like you haven't felt that since like we're talking about John Cena, Stone Cold, The Rock.
Oh yeah. He's among
Um,
those names now.
yeah, like the guy's he's a technician, man. How can you not respect the body of work, and how can you not acknowledge the
Yeah.
body of work he's put on?
That wasn't always the case because I
Yeah.
know I kind of stopped watching around 2014, 15. So I
Hmm.
saw when he was in the Shield and a little bit of that, but I missed most of his like big dog days. But I've seen clips. I've watched back, man. It was cringe, bro. If I was watching at the time, I'd have been among the fans who were booing him too. That, yo, why are you pushing this guy? And this
Yeah.
and that. I watched the documentary, bro. Like they really did. They pushed him heavily, and he wasn't feeling the whole baby face thing. But everything changed in 2020 when he came back as the tribal chief, man. Like you said, bro, like he's among those great names now. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy just to see the growth, I guess, you know?
I I think with him is, man, it's this evolution of, you know, everybody. It's a built up evolution of everybody, all the boos, including back, in 2014 when he won the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, which they're gonna be in Philadelphia this year. He really took all of those boos and capitalized on all of that.
Yeah.
And somehow he was able to be himself instead of seeming like he was reading off a script every time.
Oh yeah.
Oh
His
man, was
promos were so bad back then. Oh
yeah,
my
it
God.
was like you had times where he was getting bodied on the mic by John Cena. And it's like he's still getting bodied by Cena, but he can keep up now.
Yeah.
It's
He could
hard
hold
to
his
keep
own.
up the mic, but he's really, really took the character and made it himself. And he's the full package now.
Man, and let's talk about this now since just we're talking about Roman Reigns and this and that. I think we both think that night one, The Rock and Roman are probably gonna win. But who do you think is gonna be the one to eat the pin? And this is really interesting because I know sometimes it seems like, oh, it's just, it's just a small thing. It doesn't matter who takes the pin, but honestly, I feel like it kind of does.
I think if it's me, I think it's gonna be Cody.
Cody, right? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Cody.
Most people are like, oh, Seth is gonna take it. He doesn't matter, like in this story. But what
Mm.
you just said, I agree, bro.
I think it's gonna be Cody. I think Seth Rollins is already gonna get pinned. He's already gonna lose 9 times out of 10. We're assuming that he's gonna lose to McIntyre. Um, I do think that they're gonna try to alleviate as much as possible from him to get pinned 2 nights in a row. That's just not
Yeah,
something I see WWE. If I know WWE at the back of my head, it's not something I think that the road that they would go down with him taking 2 pins
yeah,
in 2 days. I think Cody's gonna eat one, Seth is gonna eat one,
I agree.
and I think it's gonna build up into a little bit more into that main event, thinking, okay, if there's a little bit of doubt, can Cody beat Roman? With him getting pinned like that, it's gonna give you
So,
an adventure series, pretty much.
so do you think it would be Roman pinning Cody night one or The Rock pinning Cody night one?
If I was me, I would do Roman. I would do Roman.
That would build a lot of suspense. Yeah,
I think
that's a theory.
I think because I've always said, I don't want to kind of drift off the topic here. But I always said that when Roman loses, it's gonna be the most shocking thing ever. Like nobody's gonna think he's gonna lose because it's gonna feel like whoever beat him have to go through so much adversity throughout that match to where it's seeming like they don't have a shot at beating him at all. So
Uh-huh.
I just think, man, it's gonna play a role into doubt of people thinking that okay, Roman is gonna win, and our reality, Cody's gonna win.
Now you brought up that it's gonna be a shock, and I feel like there is to an extent that people are gonna be like, damn, that really happened.
Yeah,
But the thing is, most people And I feel like 99.99% expect Cody to win because there's no shot that he doesn't, right? You don't have him and do this whole thing all the way back just for him to lose again. So I feel like while I get what you're saying, but the most shocking thing ever would be Roman winning again. And do you
Absolutely.
think there's a scenario where this happens? Because
I think I think for me, I am 85-15. 85 being that Cody is going to win, 15 being that there's a chance that Roman could win. The reason I say, like, with it being shocked, because Cody is, when he does get pinned, whether it be by The Rock or Roman Reigns, I do think that fans, a lot of fans, I'm thinking it from a perspective of fans here, some fans here. I do think some fans are gonna come into it thinking like since Cody just got pinned, I do think their percentages are gonna go up in terms of who do they think is gonna actually win a match. I
got
do
you.
think it
Yeah.
will be heavily favored for Cody, but I do think that fans are gonna be kind of guarded 50-50 with thinking Cody just got pinned. He could get pinned tonight. So
Yeah.
it's gonna create some type of doubt in people's head thinking that he could lose again. And I just feel like that's what the WWE that they would want, that because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
all about the story. And I don't see a world where Seth Rollins gets take that pin. I think it's gonna be Cody, and it's gonna be used to prop up that into the main event.
More shock value. Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. Um, so with obviously the Bloodline winning on night one, I think that's the best case scenario because we have a way more entertaining match night two with Bloodline rules. Basically, no disqualification. That's all that means. And there's gonna be a whole lot of shenanigans, bro. I don't know if Solo and The Rock are gonna be on Roman's side from the get-go, like during the beginning, but we know they're
Mhm.
gonna be during the match. And I've seen different clips, different theories, and I've had a buddy of mine, Fernando, who's usually on this show, and he brought this up as early as February in Elimination Chamber. And he was saying,
Yep.
yo, watch. Just like you said, on some Attitude Era levels of crazy stuff going on. John Cena will show up, help Cody. Stone Cold will show up and take out The Rock. Like it's gonna be like some Avengers Endgame type of level craziness here. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think, man, I think I and you know I tweeted this out the minute they showed Stone Cold and John Cena on a bus. I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
WWE just don't put that out like that. And they physically turned the camera over. They were trying to show those two guys on a bus when you
Everything has purpose.
an angle where it was just The Rock and Cody just fighting and going at it. So I was like, what the heck? Like, why did they turn the camera over like that and showed that? So it made me think. Yeah, so it made me think like, what? Like, that's kind of weird to me. Like, it's always a cause to something with the WWE.
Oh yeah, bro. I agree. Everything has purpose, and I don't think that was just oh, that's just coincidence. Nah, like I do think it will be so much crazy stuff, and like you said, there will be shock when Cody wins, right? There because Roman's had this title for like 4 years now. So when
Yeah.
he actually does lose, we're all even though we all expect Cody to win, we're still gonna be like, damn, bro, like that was it. Like it actually finally happened, you know?
Because it's like it's gonna feel like it's bloodline rules. It's gonna feel like he had no shot at winning. And when you incorporate people like The Rock and John Cena and those guys, I think those guys, they in that video like of Roman Reigns, they talked about who is the greatest of all time. They talked about Roman Reigns being the greatest. I do think some of those words are wishful thinking. Um, I considering it's the 40th year of WrestleMania, how could they not do something special for that
Oh
last
yeah.
main event? Um, I just think it would be too good to pass up on.
You watched
Wait,
that documentary with Roman?
absolutely,
Oh
yes.
yeah. I
It
saw
was
it
good.
too, man. It was good. It was
Yeah,
good.
it taught me a couple of things that like I said, I didn't know that Roman. I didn't know his brother passed, but those are the type of things that you sit back and you say, wow, look at how much that guy went through throughout that time, dealing
Yeah.
with leukemia And
He
then
could have
whether
been in the NFL if it wasn't for the
yeah,
leukemia. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So man, it's a good thing to see. Like great guy per usual. I was happy to see that, to be honest. But
Yeah.
that was what kind of my thoughts on it.
So obviously, like having us both watch that documentary, we both probably saw it towards the end. Roman said, like, if he loses on Sunday, like I'm gone, bro. And I don't think he's gonna retire, but I do think he's gonna be taking like a hiatus. Like, a lot of people, and I was among the idea, like among those people where they're like, I'm tired of a part-time champ. I'm tired of him just being here every 3, 4 months. But honestly, like after watching the doc and all the stuff that he goes through with leukemia, I understand why you got to be careful. And I really I don't know, man. I feel like fans will miss him when he's gone,
Yeah.
but he's earned that level. Like he's among that tier where you could be like a Brock Lesnar at the time when he used to come and go.
Mhm.
Cena, I know now he's very, very, very rare to see now, but he can come and go. So I feel
Yeah.
like Roman has earned the right to, have a part-time schedule.
Absolutely, man. I think he's hit that point in his ceiling where he's he's where The Rock was when he before he left the WWE. And I just think, you gotta appreciate these guys while they're there, because you're seeing guys like The Rock leave, you're seeing guys like Stone Cold leave, you're seeing guys like John Cena leave, and you're not gonna see Roman Reigns leave. He's gonna get into that stage where he's filming a bunch of movies, and the schedule is not always gonna
Do you
look
think
pretty.
Roman will go Hollywood? You think he'll be in
I think
movies and stuff?
Hollywood. I think it's too good to pass up for him. He's got 5 children. I do think the guy. I think he's bound for that. I think if an opportunity with the hiatus presented him, I don't think he passes up on it. But I do
Yeah.
think that there's gonna be some time made out for next year for a very special match that needs to take place next year instead of
With The
this year.
Rock.
Yep. I think it's Minnesota. How could you not?
Dude, how do you okay, and let's get to that now. How do you think this build because some people were gonna say The Rock is gonna turn on Roman, and I used to think maybe, but now it doesn't. I don't feel like the timing is right for that right now. Maybe down the line at SummerSlam, or I don't know if The Rock, he's gonna be busy later on because he's gonna bounce after Mania too. So how do you think we're really gonna build this Rock versus Roman feud?
Um, I think what you do is I think you could potentially. I think it's really tough to say because they teased at it for us a little bit this year, and you think, how are you going to come back this time and introduce that match to us this time? But if I had to say how they're going to do it, I think Roman Reigns is going to call him out. I think that's what's going to happen. I do think that the match is going to be it's going to come to a situation where it's going to be who is the final boss, who's the tribal chief,
Yeah, I
that
agree.
type of settings. And I
The
do think the Rock
title, the
is going to
title of
be
the tribal chief.
title of
Yeah.
the tribal chief. I do think The Rock is still going to be a heel. I think
Ooh,
Brad
I was just
Pitt,
about to ask you that. You think so still?
yeah, I think he's still going to be the heel because I think Rock has put over. It's only but right because he's put over Stone. He's went through matches with Stone Cold. He went over Stone Cold. It's his time to put over his cousin.
So do you think that Roman will fully turn babyface, or he's still gonna be kind of a heel, you know, a heel versus heel thing where Roman is still gonna be, acting the way he does, taking shots at the crowd, acknowledge me, this and that. Do you think it's gonna be like a heel versus heel thing, or he's gonna pretty much turn babyface?
I think it's going to be a baby face, but I think it's going to be what Vince McMahon wanted him and less of shoving it down fans' throats. I think when he is a baby face now, it's going to be a little bit more natural. Something you've seen from him, over the past years of him being, intertwined with the crowd and being able to be not as, coming off as aggressive, but coming off as a chill, laid back type of dude. I
Yeah.
feel like you're going to get that type of energy from him. I feel like, the old stubborn baby face way you see from him a couple of years ago. I don't feel like you're gonna get that. I feel like it's gonna feel more natural for fans. It's gonna feel like that he's actually put in work, and he's not just being handed opportunities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see that for sure, bro.
So
It's crazy, bro, because there's so much that could happen. One more, like I feel like we probably forgot about this. Bayley versus Iyo Sky. How we feeling about that?
I think Bayley's gonna win. I think she's helped build up Io and Dakota Kai. I think it's her time to win. She's put in so much, even through the pandemic year. She put in so much work.
She
Some
put
of the
hella
people
people over, bro. She
yeah,
put so many people over.
she didn't get to have that moment in a stadium with that title run she had. So I think it's only revisionist history that she gets another opportunity, and she wins that match. I don't think she's gonna lose that. I'm pretty certain on that match too.
I would agree, bro. And I was so happy when Bayley won the Royal Rumble because I'm a huge Bayley
Yeah,
fan, bro. I was so happy. And this whole storyline, and man, it's been building for a long time, bro. Like the whole betrayal arc with damage control and this and that. I'm not sure. This is night one, right? Or is this night two?
this should
Oh, I think
be.
night two. Night two. I got it right here.
Yeah,
So this the other match with Bianca and them that would happen on night one. So do you think damage control would be a factor in this for night two?
for Bianca's match, and you talking about Bianca and Jade and
For
Trinity.
no, I'm saying damage control. Like let's just say they lose night
Oh,
one. Do you think they would be a factor to help EO night two?
yeah, I don't think. I think if they're a factor, I think Bianca and I do think that they would interfere and help out Bayley. I don't
Yeah,
think that would get and play into the role, but I do think that it's at a point in time where you got to get that belt off of EO because
yeah. It's
she's
been really boring, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
kind of bland. Like need some different matches, get a different feel for it. But
Yeah,
I suspect that they would interfere, but even if they do, I don't think it's gonna work because you still have three more people that they're gonna try to face. I believe in night two, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah,
So also wanted to touch on this. Obviously we were both thinking Cody's gonna walk out of Mania with the undisputed title, and with Roman Reigns bouncing out, a lot could change with the draft and this and that in terms of who Cody's next opponents can be.
yeah.
With Cody being a big baby face, who do you think could be those guys next in line as heels, I guess, because that's pretty much who he's going to be facing. I don't see him going against no baby faces for the title because there's a short list, bro, and a lot of people they're like, yeah, Cody, his whole story is winning,
Hmm.
finishing the story, but what's next? Like a lot of people are saying they might get tired and bored of Cody Rhodes after a few months.
Um, I feel like with that same thing could be said about Roman Reigns. Just to touch on that a little bit because you've put him through so many people,
Yeah.
and you have pushed away so many talent and neglected so many people because of this run. And Monday night, not Monday Night Raw, but SmackDown needs a champion on a show consistently. So I feel like with him, you could expect guys like Randy Orton to
Oh yeah,
turn.
that's the match right there.
That's going to be the match at SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, I agree.
I
I would
think
love to see that. And personally, I would love to see Randy win it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
it.
not gonna lie.
The fan in me, I think it's a lot to do with that story, but the fandom in me, I would like to see Cody win and keep his belt because
Hmm.
I feel like Randy has been a mentor to him, and the build up to that match is going to
Yeah.
be heavily reliant on Randy being a mentor in his younger career in the WWE and him being able to beat Randy, his mentor, somebody he looked up to. I think that would that would be nice for his title reign, a nice title reign for him.
Now
But yeah,
also let me touch on this. Do you think now obviously Roman Reigns has had a freaking historic title reign, 1,000+ days, this and that. But it's so easy to get bored and tired of like a long title reign. Do you think Cody's gonna have like a year, at least 365 days worth? Because me personally, I don't think he needs a long ass title reign. Because remember back in the day, nobody would ever hold it besides CM Punk, I think, when he had 400+ days. Nobody would hold it that long. It would be like a few months here, drop it, maybe win it back. I could see something similar with Cody maybe holding it all the way till SummerSlam, drops it, wins it back. You get what I'm saying. So do you
yeah.
think like he'll have a long title reign? Does he need a long title reign?
I mean, considering the fact that that he didn't win it at 39, I feel like many fans can say that he's similar to John Cena. I feel like that he could. I feel like he's gonna hold it a year because I think the true match they want is Gunther and Cody at 41. I
That's
think that
interesting. Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense because if you give the belt to Randy Orton, he's a heel, and then you got Gunther as a heel. How does that coexist at that point? You got two heels.
Yeah.
I think you gotta go Cody and Gunther. I think that's the match next year. I think it only makes sense to keep him with the belt because
Yeah.
he was hot at 39, and then you screwed him out of that opportunity when he should have won it back then, considering the fact of what they were going to do with him. Take him through in the process of building him back up was corrupt with Vince McMahon. So
Oh my God, bro. Yeah.
man, I think you got to do it. I think he's in debt. He's earned it. He's put in enough work to get that.
I agree. I get where you're coming from, bro. Totally, because he's had to go, and I found out I was watching Cody Rhodes was on some podcast I think with Ariel Hawani. He didn't find out that he was losing at Mania 39 until like some point during the match. I
Mhm.
think he was supposed to win, and then last second they're like, nah, bro, Roman's got to keep it. So I could totally understand where you're coming from too. But man, I just can't help but think like uh, Cody's one of those guys who he's there, right? He's gonna be there for like almost every single pay-per-view. So you're gonna have
Absolutely.
backlash like right after. Who could be that guy right away? And we said Randy, but Randy wouldn't really get into that picture until maybe down the line. Who do you think would be that guy to face Cody right away?
Let's see
Does
who.
Cody stay on Raw or SmackDown? Does he have to like we don't know that either.
I think he's gonna go to SmackDown. Yeah, I think he's gonna go to SmackDown. This is really, really hard to predict who he's gonna face, but um, I could suspect possibly.
There's not that many guys, bro. Like, if we're being honest.
Man,
Like the same tier as Cody. There's not too many guys, especially when you're just talking about heels. When you take out Roman Reigns,
yeah.
obviously Randy is a great heel, but they're not going to throw him right away.
I would like to see him versus Bobby Lashley. You could go that angle, but I don't know if enough people want to see that match.
Yeah. And then you don't have too much time to really build that up either. I mean, yeah, Backlash is going to be in like a month after, but there's only so much you could do.
One title contender and then have those guys go at it.
Yeah.
Um, for that title contender. But it's really hard to say. It's still really, really early in the process of, who's gonna face Cody because you got some guys coming up um with Braun Breaker.
Oh, the NXT guys too. Yeah, that's
It's hard
facts.
to gauge what it's gonna be, but man, I just think that WWE rarely ever do like a bunch of definitive titles on pay-per-views. It's like nowadays it's like probably Backlash. Then probably the next one is probably a Money in the Bank. Then probably SummerSlam, and then you're it's a little bit of a break there, and then probably Clash of the Castle. It
Yeah.
it goes in that type of order. It's always the big pay per views instead of the normal,
The
you know,
small, whatever,
all of
fast
them that
lane.
doesn't have any type of many matches. Like
Yeah.
for example, what is it? Not so I'm gonna take out Clash of the Castle, SummerSlam, like possibly
Payback.
let's Black Backflash
Yeah.
wasn't after Mania, something like that, or possibly Elimination Chamber, something
Yeah.
like that.
True.
Day one, I don't know if they still got that pay-per-view, something like that. I don't think he would actually defend the title there.
Yeah.
But the less pay-per-views they have, I don't think he's gonna defend it, but every pay-per-view.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see like what happens afterwards. Before we kind of wrap up, I'm curious, do you pay attention to NXT here and there?
Absolutely. I love NXT, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be tuning in to Stand and Deliver as well. I do think that there's one match in particular that is very, very unpredictable, considering the fact that this girl could possibly be moved up to the main card because of the work she's done as a heel.
You talking about
Uh
Roxanne?
whereas, yeah, I think she's gonna win the belt, but I also think I've also seen things about her being moved up to the main card.
Yeah.
So I'm leaning more of a her winning the belt over going up because they need talent down there.
Yeah,
So
that's what I've seen.
I'm excited about that match. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like I'm like very casual at NXT. I follow them on like social, so I still kind of keep up with the storylines, what's going on. But man, obviously like we got Trick Mello facing off. That's gonna be a banger. Ilya Dragunov, who I love, bro. Like he is so main roster ready. He's absolutely ready.
Yeah,
So I don't know if he's gonna drop the title to who is he facing? Tony, the
Tony.
mob dude. I forgot his name.
I forgot his name. I don't. He's not gonna lose to him. I don't think he's gonna lose.
No, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Honestly, if it were me, I would have moved Dragon up this year, and I would have had him lose the title to Gunther.
Oh
Um,
my God, that match would be so good, bro. Yeah.
I would have done if it was me, but they chose to go the route keeping him there. But
He's ready though. He's absolutely ready.
ready. I'm excited about Braun Breaker. I'm kind of linking Braun Breaker already up with Paul Heyman.
Yep.
I,
They've
I,
planted the seeds.
Yeah, they're kind of planting those seeds with Paul, having a conversation, telling him he need to talk to Braun Breaker. So you could tell that they've been kind of, and that's the funny thing. It's like when we talk about Roman losing the belt, WWE is subtly giving you clues that there's 9 times out of 10 he's not going to be with the title. Because why would you have a situation in which you have Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman in the same setting and talking to each other? That makes literally no sense.
Yeah.
So it's they've already kind of setting things up with life after Roman Reigns. Man, I think when we talk about Braun Breaker, he is somebody like when we like Brock Lesnar. He fits that type
Mm-hmm.
of moment. And
Yeah.
I think if if WWE is careful and they book him right, I think he's gonna be a huge star. I just think he's gonna be good. He's gonna be box office. You
Oh
think
yeah.
about matches you can do with him versus Roman. I just think it's too many good matches you can do with a guy like that.
Cody did mention too, in one promo, I forgot, but it was this year. He said, I'm not gonna just take the title from you. I think it was when The Rock was supposed to take his slot. He said, I'm
Yeah,
gonna take everything from you. So
yeah.
that means taking the title. That means probably Paul Heyman leaving him for like a Braun Breaker. The Rock turning on him. Roman is gonna be an island, like on an island all by himself whenever he does come back. So
Hey,
then
Uso,
maybe you get a little sympathy, right? That's how he turns babyface.
you're gonna have Jay Uso and Jimmy Uso forming back up together.
You think they're gonna get back?
Think they're gonna get back together. I think you're gonna have a guy like Solo, possibly facing Roman at SummerSlam. With him, I think he's gonna turn. I think he's the next one. We're talking about those Usos and then Solo, he's the next guy to turn on Roman Reigns. They've already been kind of building upon that, basically trying to, play around with that, when with Roman taking jabs at him.
Yeah. And I feel like Solo's just he's so bland right now, but I've seen his NXT stuff. I know he's got potential, bro. They've made him like the quiet, big strong guy. That's all they've made him right now.
So he's lost like so many matches since he beat Cena, which I didn't like that at all. But
Me neither, bro.
man, it's like he's falling from a curve. Same thing with Austin Theory, but
Oh, I
it's
thought Theory had so much potential too, bro.
yeah,
Still does. I still think he does as a baby face.
I think yeah, but man, Solo, he's really falling off big time. Honestly, I think they've been talks about it's been a bunch of talks, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they've signed a couple of, people from their family, of Roman cousins and stuff like that. So they're slowly ushering in other dudes,
Yeah,
you know,
that'd be crazy.
family. I don't think they should go away from the story. I think that they should keep building upon this story. I think it's a lot of a story to tell with life after Roman. Well, not life after Roman, life without the WWE Universal title that you can add on to that, with the cap of the tip being Roman Reigns beating The Rock. So, man, I just don't think he's going to be on a hiatus until WrestleMania. I think you're going to see some form of him at SummerSlam, considering that's a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think he'll be back later on this year. He's gonna be gone for like the next 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll come back and show his face.
Mhm.
on a promo or something and this and that. But yeah, I agree. SummerSlam would be the ideal target for bringing Roman back. Man,
Absolutely.
it's crazy, man. Exciting times, WrestleMania weekend. By the
Yeah.
time this video is up, I think it would be Saturday. So this is gonna be on pre-night one. I appreciate you coming on, bro. If anything, let me know what your schedule is like. I'd love to have you be like a reoccurring guest, be a part of the team, man.
I mean, yep, for sure, bro, for sure. We'll talk later, after the air, but absolutely. I'm honestly so excited. I would be willing to do a show like after, night one, but um, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. This is like our
Oh my
super.
God. Hell yeah. Yeah.
I don't care how old you are, whether you're 50, 60, 70, 30.
Uh
I just think, man, how could you not love this stuff? It's although it's scripted a little bit, it's an entertainment, man, and it's like it brings excitement.
yeah. And honestly, when The Rock said, bro, he didn't even have to say it, but when he said, like, it's cool again, bro, like, it's not embarrassing to be a wrestling fan. It's not any of that, you know. It's back, bro. Like, it's reaching
Normal.
new levels that hasn't been like in a very long time.
Absolutely, man. I'm really excited for the future of WWE. I think they're changing the game for wrestling, pro wrestling in general, man. They're taking new heights, new leaps, creating new characters that we haven't seen in a while. But I love it, man.
Yeah, dude, it's been a journey. Like I've had my time where I stopped watching, I came back, but man, very excited for this weekend for these matches, and so much is gonna happen and go down. But if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you drop a like, comment down what your thoughts are on this weekend's WrestleMania, the matches that's going on. And yeah, until then, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time. We'll sign out.